I don't know no other way to put it but to just spit it out. He's searching for a way to prove his masculinity as a man because his partner has made him into the bitch. When I talk about BLKs, blacks following me, and they know I don't want them following me, I've spoke about this before, so I won't get deep into this side of the subject. If somebody who's following you that's not your partner, they mean you harm. I had a guy following me today. After the way I post, some people have backed up. He backed up, but he was still following me. Looking back, it was a cross between nervous and confident. He was smiling. Some little short black guy following me. Knew I didn't want him following me, but he looked back and he looked nervous. My whole point, gay black guys, their partner, who's the catcher, who's the pitcher? The one who's the catcher is the hoe, the bitch, the woman. So he's been dominated by another man. He has to go improve his masculinity someplace else because it sure as hell is not with his partner. My whole point, watch out for these guys. I spit on your grave. When you see black people in groups and when you see black males by themselves, and if you have my bad luck, my string of bad luck to where they follow you, it's one thing where they're just hanging out in the corner and not bothering you. I mean, I'm still uncomfortable because they're glaring at me in an intimidating way. And don't try to get footage of that because that could get dangerous. Don't try to get footage to verify your story on that. That's dangerous. When you see them in groups like that and they glare, don't try. You know, you can have it hidden someplace on your body. Have your recording device hidden on you, but I would not try when they're in a gang like that. Gang rape is my whole point. And a lot of them talk to me. And so my exercise caution. They are very cocky. Even this little short black guy that was nervous that followed me today. Two of them actually. Two. Same response. Two separate guys. They saw my video and knew how I got to where I was going. But I can't let that ruin my surveillance or my fans. There are some people I want to know where I am and some people I don't. These two constitute as people I don't want. Jealousy. So both backed up, but they shouldn't even been thinking about it. Thinking about messing with me. Thinking about harming me. So I Spit on Your Grave, that movie. Those men were trying to prove their masculinity because they couldn't do it. Beware of men who can't hold themselves around other males. They can't be men around other men. They pussy out. They're pussies around other men. That's what that movie. I didn't catch it at first. I had to watch it a couple times. Still didn't catch it until the men in the community, nonverbal and verbal, let me know this is why I'm having this issue. Because they are the ones wearing the wig. The rapist is wearing a wig in the marriage. He's the woman. He's wearing the wig. He's being told to do the bitch role, bent over like a hoe in the kitchen. And no man is going to put up with that, not forever at least. Eventually he's going to get fed up and find someone to take it out on. So these guys, the woman, the wife in the gay relationship, the wife is the ones you need to be on the lookout for. They will come and try to prove their masculinity. Since they can't do it with their own gender, they would do it to a woman. And that's what the men have warned me about. Is why I'm having so many issues with these black guys. And they know I don't want them following me. And I'm saying it right now on video. I've just created a legal document, and I'm not giving consent. So it's the not the pitcher, it's the catcher. Whoever is the woman in the relationship. If you're being followed, an unwanted follow by a group of black guys or one black guy by himself, he is a gay guy that is the catcher in his marriage. He's the wife, and he's looking for someone to take that out on so he can feel like a man again. And something else I was going to say about that. but I can't remember. There was something else I was going to say in regards to, help me out, dear on the wall. Help me out. Dear him. Help my memory out. So prove himself as a, who said that? Matthew. If you ever see, even though it's funny, sometimes you can't help but laugh and let it out, but do not laugh when this happens to you. Matthew on that movie, I Spit on Your Grave. He was the weakest, the most pussified, the LD retarded one was the most pussified out of the pack of men, boys. They were both. And if you see another man get embarrassed in front of you, there's a danger there. And especially if you get nailed laughing. Everybody else is laughing, but you laughing. Because you're the weakest one in the pack. If men, this is how men identify, no matter what kind of guy you're dealing with. You got your men who are not lazy. You got your men who are lazy. And then you got, if there just so happens to be a woman in the room or a girl, and your unknown sexes. So, when it's a room full of people, and something like that happens, and it's potential for a crime there, okay? But don't panic, stay calm. This is the reason why cops, they say this very frequently, stay calm. You panic, you could get yourself hurt, you could run off in a frantic and mistakenly open the doors up on your mode of transport. Like you might mistakenly open up your door before you're ready, draw your airbags, you don't mean to set them off. Just stay calm, okay? So, you made a mistake, you laughed. You didn't mean to laugh. That's what happened with the girl on Spit on Your Grave. She laughed. Everybody else was laughing, thought it was okay. No, it's not okay. You're the only woman in the room. But that's not her fault. If it's funny, laugh. But try not to. Try not to. Okay, so the weakest male in the room is the retarded one. Matthew on this movie. I've seen this in real life too. Tyson. I used to laugh at Tyson when his other males used to embarrass him. The LD one, the retarded one, that's Tyson. I'm laughing. Same thing with Kyle. I'm laughing, thinking it's okay because everybody else laughing. No, you're the only woman in the room, even if it's 2 or 3 women in the room. Hang on, excuse me a second. Let's see what side is this lens on. So, you made a mistake and you laughed, and it's not your fault. You know, it's involuntary. You know, the body, laughter, those are things you can't control. I'm not gonna get into all the things because America is censored. I'm not gonna get into all the things that can happen to where you can't voluntarily control that your body does. I can't legally get into all that in America. And so you have, let me get back on topic. And so you laugh. I can cuss because this is about to be not for kids. I'm hitting no on YouTube. You fucked either way. You laugh, a crime could potentially happen. You don't laugh, a crime could potentially happen because I've had this happen to me before. Room full of males, he has to prove his masculinity. What? That wasn't funny? You didn't find that funny? Or what was so funny about that if you do laugh? And close-ended. Answer close-ended, but answer him. Answer the man as quickly as you can. Know where your exes are. If you are anywhere in a gang of black guys, just enter into where you are, especially in a tight space. Know where your exes right away. If you can get up right away, get up right away. It's like what you see on the movie. This isn't my first rodeo. The men do this to other men too. I told you which men in what way. You've seen it in a restaurant or bar where a family or a person, don't matter their gender, sitting down by themselves enjoying whatever it is they enjoy in life, sitting down. They get closed in. Two people come in together. They're usually men, always, especially in America. I did my research. Cinema, movies are different in different cultures. America is the rape culture. Okay, so one guy sits behind the guy who's eating his food or whatever, at the table, for example, at a diner. He sits uncomfortably close to him. This happens to me on the bus. This is the same exact thing happened to me on the bus, minus the eating. There were plenty of seats. They sat down at the same time, right behind me, and one to the right of me. And it's not a friendly intake. They sit down very gruff, and they're glaring, and their facial expressions, their mannerisms are very tense. They're very tensed up, puffed up, very abusive, like two black guys, as always, ongoing, black men. I've made them cool now, because who doesn't want notoriety? And that wasn't my intention to make them cool. Somebody has actually finding us relevant. I'm just trying to stay safe and alive, but now, so even more of them bother me now, because they have a cool name now, BLKs. They have a cool name. Finally, somebody worded their culture and their people in a way that's not offensive. So they really got a crush on me now. That wasn't my intention. It's, why shooters go and shoot up schools. Notoriety. The black man wants notoriety, and unfortunately I've given it to him unknowingly, and now I have even bigger problems. I have black men that are fans now. Some that aren't, some that are. I'm not sure which ones are for me or against me. I mentioned that before in my other podcast. Angle. There's always an angle with the black man. So I'm not sticking around to figure out if you're my friend or foe. But thank you for the compliment. Either way, it's a compliment. So, yeah, you sit down. What happened to me? I got up. That's not always possible on the buses, but it was just possible. It worked out that way for me to get up. And the driver wasn't weak. Some of the drivers actually look out for you. I don't like to reveal who helps me. Like a Western, you give them a look with your eyes, you cut your eyes. I don't look at people in an intimidating way ever, because I'm good looking and I'm a woman and I'm not ugly. Ugly people do that. Ugly people go around looking ugly and giving people a stank face. So when I say I look at people and cut my eyes, I mean we're together, and I don't want you to know the two of us are together. So a couple of drivers, I give them that look. This one, we had a look. He gave me an opening, and I got up. So back to this is the same thing, same timeline. Back to the diner. Only this guy doesn't get up because he's a man. He's ready to fight or shoot or cut. So he's sitting there. They knocking stuff off his table. That's another thing. See me personally about eating and drinking in public, because you have some people who would target your enjoyment, target your whatever you put into your mouth. Ways to stay safe doing that. So he's got one guy who sat directly behind him. Diner scene, one who's either standing over him, the other guys, two of them, one behind either to the right of him or any other angle, or he's in the booth right behind, in the actual booth, is what I'm trying to say, in the actual booth, because there was nobody sitting there with the man eating. And all of a sudden, they knock over a couple of things off the table, and the temperature's rising. He's losing his patience, the one who's being attacked verbally, and assaulted verbally, and then he just finally has enough, and they go to whatever his guns, cutting. Men are wired different than women. Women, I would recommend you escape. And if you're a weak man, and you don't fight, Tyson told me I don't fight. He never had the stones to say he was a weak man. I'm meeting men who can admit what they are. I love when people can admit what they are. If you're a weak man, you don't fight, I recommend you escape. That's what a woman does, escape. We're not fighters. We only fight if we got to. Our bodies are not, we don't have the broad shoulders. We are not equipped the way a man would. I've talked about this before. I'm not going to ramble on about it. So the table of people I just told you about, they are duking it out, scrapping. Whether they are going fist to fist, whatever your preferred drug is on self-defense. I don't have time to list all of them, but you get the point. So, Matthew. And then some people just do it because you're by yourself. Doesn't mean he's weak because he's sitting alone. Maybe he was waiting on a party to show up. Maybe he just wanted the night to himself. But this is what's happening to me too. Like, you don't know, maybe I just wanted to sit by myself. So just the people who are listening, I'm not gonna list again. Be careful of Matthews, because these people are trying to. Seniors too. Seniors, when I told you be careful of ruses, there are a lot of black men, old black men, who I see them get dissed in front of me by young black guys. They get dissed. Them feel the need to prove themselves too. It's not just the young black male trying to prove himself. It's the old black men that get dissed by the young guys. And so since they can't fight their equal, they can't beat their equal. That's the words I'm searching for. These men can't beat their equal. They don't know how to fit in with their own pack. So they go into the female group to prove their masculinity. This old man, old black man will have the same amount that harassed me. Like that man, that janitor at that library. I was sitting there minding my own business, and here he comes. Like I'm another man. I ain't never seen him talk to another man that way. Unless it was a weak one. So just know he is trying to prove himself and get back in good with the pack. And be careful, because like in the movie, that pack could turn on you. They have people of that nature can switch. Don't trust the company he keeps. Don't trust the company he keeps. I noticed he was talking to security. I'm okay with security there, but I did notice that. Observe him a little more. Find out who he hangs with, because they could turn on you in a pack rape. You don't know which way it's going to go in a pack rape, so just be careful of the company Matthew keeps, and be careful of the guy who is the loser. In that movie, he played Ryan on one of the soap operas, but he was the leader of the pack. His life just wasn't the way how he wanted it. Just realizing myself saying this out loud is letting me realize some losers I know right now that I need to be cautious of. So he needs to prove, like, his buddies are like, oh man, you never get that. She's way out of your league. They blast him, and he's like, this is what's happening to me. I'm going to go over there and talk to her right now. So if you ever, that's your luck. To hear them talking, I can hear them talking. They're coming over to fuck with you. Sometimes God won't lead you to move. Sometimes he will. Sometimes a demon will lead you to move. Sometimes he won't. Depends on how tired you are. Just be cautious of these pack mentality. These are some unfriendly black gay guys. They're unfriendly. And the antisocial ones, don't friend them either. They're all fake. Unless he's Shaquille O'Neal and has Shaquille O'Neal's bank account. Have the Asian approach when it comes to black people. Size up the bank account. I learned the hard way with Tyson. It was the other way around. He sized up my bank account and my cars, all my assets. He had never gone out with me if I didn't have that car. He told me to my face that was why he picked me at Perk, because I was the only one out of the girls he wanted that had a car. I just recall that memory. And it's no different than now. More black guys have been approaching me than when I moved here because of the bus passes in the apartment. So just let me drive it home with a summary. Just be cautious and distance. If you see black men in a pack or by themselves, antisocial, solo, there is no right reaction. Okay, they're crafty. There is no right reaction. You could it's not safe not to talk to them. It's not safe to talk to them. I can't tell you. You gotta. Throw the textbook out the window. My tips are just here to assist, not to be a cure-all. Because sometimes you have to throw everything out the window. Sometimes I'll have my mind made up, when it's happening. Not before you go out, because if you start doing that before you go out, you make yourself crazy. Not before I go out, but when it's happening, I'm like, okay, he's talking to me. I'm not gonna say anything. But then sometimes you find yourself saying something in the moments, and you said you wouldn't. That's your survival kicking in. That's a good way to drive it home. The deer approves. Let your survival kick in. What is my survival telling me as a weak man? What is my survival telling me as an unknown sex? What is my survival telling me as a woman, a girl, boy? You're the brave man who vow to serve and protect. This advice isn't for you. You got yours. You just gonna knock their asses out because you're a real man. You're a man's man. You see a woman and child in danger, you step up. You're not pushing on them. So this advice isn't not for you, but if you're just listening because you love the sound of my voice, then more power to you. Whatever you need to do, get your rocks off. So let your survival kick in. Because there have been many times I said I wasn't going to talk to black people, and I find myself talking to them, and it's sure survival. And I'm thinking after it's over, like, what the fuck was I saying? Why was I talking to this person? Survival.